good, YouTube? Quinn Wade coming to y'all with that instant basketball analysis on the Analysis Playground exclusively now on YouTube. We're gonna do some NBA news around the NBA. Think it should be fun. Not too many crazy things have happened. Just giving y'all my analysis on things that's been happening, like I usually do. One of the biggest news today was Lonnie Walker has agreed to a 2 year, $3 million deal with the Philadelphia 76ers. Walker was previously expected to remain with the team outside of this country for the remainder of the season, with his NBA opt out is expiring. The Sixers had the prorated veteran minimum exception to offer Walker as he fills their final roster spot, which is good, but it's just good for him to get back in the league and be able to continue to make his dream comes true, because Walker spent preseason with the Boston Celtics and was one of their final cuts before this season even started. Last season with the Brooklyn Nets, Walker averaged 9 points, 2 rebounds, 1 assist in 17.4 minutes over 58 games, showing you that he still can score and produce good numbers on a team if you give him the right amount of minutes and the right amount of opportunity. But in 33 games overseas, Walker's averaging 13 points, 2.9 rebounds, and 2 assists in 20 minutes. I like it. Like, if you can give me close to double figures or double figures or above, I'm taking that, because that just shows you that you're one of the best players in the game. I don't know if he's going to have that role in Philadelphia, because obviously they lost Jerry McCain. They lost a lot of guys in and out of the roster. He's going to be one of their younger guys for the roster spot that he's going to take up. We don't know what his role going to be. We don't know what his opportunity is going to be, but we do know that Lonnie Walker can get to the basket, can pull up a little bit and get to the free throw line. Not the greatest three-point shooter ever, but he doesn't hesitate if he has to. I feel like this is just a growing experience for him. He got cut from the league for the first time. He had to fight for his spot. He had to fight for his ability to get back in the league. And he now has a good deal that can showcase what he can still do and probably make his career even longer if he does well with the Sixers. So they in a need for talent. That gives him an opportunity, and we're gonna see if playing overseas made him a better player, or will it not translate at all. It's just something we have to see, and it's going to be fun to see that. Alfred Payton agrees to a second 10-year, 10-day deal. He's been a guy that's been in and out of the league this year. People like the Pelicans have been giving him opportunities, and he hasn't been able to stick for the rest of the season yet. I don't know if the Hornets are going to make that decision on him, but they're not going to be a playoff team anyway. So I think that they should just give him the spot, just because I know they're not trying to win games, because they want to tank and be able to get a good pick in this particular draft. But you still need a position of need. He's the best free agent you can get, because Markelle Fultz is off the table for the guard position, and so is Lonnie Walker. And he's more of a playmaker than a scorer. And they already have guys like LaMelo Ball and Miles Bridges, and probably even Mark Williams going to need somebody to set him up a little bit to make his job a little easier and make the offense flow a little better. And who's better than Alfred Payton on the free agency list? I don't see nobody. He's averaging 5.5 assists in 27 minutes when he was able to play, so it makes sense. He's not going to score. He also is a decent rebounder. He averaged 2.5 rebounds with the Hornets on the first 10 day. But if you can give me 5 assists in 27 minutes, I'm taking that, because he's not even a guy that's going to have the ball in his hand primarily that long. But at least he's doing the right decisions with it and making teammates' jobs easier with the opportunity that they gave him. And I think that should be the team that he sticks with, because the Hornets really can't go in no other direction, and it doesn't really hurt them in the future that much either, because he's not going to help you win that many games, but he is going to make things a lot smoother, and he's going to show that team that they're still trying to find a way to pick a direction and how they're going to rebuild. And that's always the toughest thing to do sometimes, when you don't have the talent that you need to be able to make those decisions at the point like they are at now. But Kevin Durant, I didn't want to be traded in the mid-season. It had nothing against my time with the Warriors. that's the biggest reason why he didn't. When he got the call from Steph, he told them guys, "I'm straight. Like, I'm gonna ride this season out with the Suns. I got respect for you guys. I got love for you guys. I know y'all still trying to win another championship, but this just not what I'm feeling right now because I'd rather not be traded in the middle of the season. That's just my opinion. But now that window and door has closed as they couldn't get Kevin Durant, so they went and got Jimmy Butler. And I think that Jimmy Butler looks good on that roster. He looks good for what they're trying to do and what they're trying to accomplish, especially because he's been known as a defender and a scorer and a playmaker and a good rebounder. And you can question some of those things with Kevin Durant sometimes. So I think they got the better fit and the guy that actually wants to play there. So Jimmy Butler might be a little toxic in the future, but right now he's committed to showing you that he's great and he can still dominate the game and play at a high level. And for what I done seen, he looks like a good fit with Golden State. But, KD, he hasn't really found too much success, hasn't been in a conference final since he was with the Warriors, and people thought that would be crazy to say that. But it is reality. He hasn't really had too much playoff success the last couple of years, and some of the years he was injured too. So that didn't really help their seeding. That didn't really help, them in general. But if you are as good as you say you are in a team is too, you should be able to get through any team in any situation because you're supposed to show that you're better. They have shown that they're good enough to make it, but not good enough to win it all. And if you're trading for Kevin Durant, you have to put that in the back of your mind. Will he take us to the next level? We haven't really been able to see that in Phoenix. We haven't really been able to see that in Brooklyn. We haven't really been able to see that OKC outside of 1 year. And Golden State, that was overloaded talent, but it made sense for him to do that because his goal was to win a championship, and he was able to accomplish that goal with the Warriors twice, and that's tough to do. And they proved that when they went for the third straight time against the Raptors and they fell short, because anything can happen, and it can happen for the better or for the worse. And that's unfortunate, but that's just how life goes and how it works out sometimes. Another thing, the Mavericks were never going to offer Luka Doncic the 5 year, 345 supermax extension. I believe that because if you're thinking about letting him go and you're already entertaining the fact that he might get traded from y'all, that just means y'all wasn't really in love with Luka. That just means y'all were just making the best of what he can do and trying to find a way to make the best of the situation. And then when y'all find somebody that can complement y'all better, y'all went in that direction. A lot of people still gonna feel that they lost that trade because Luka is that good, obviously, but it just seemed like Luka just wasn't the guy they needed. Because if you're thinking about moving them and you're thinking about trading them, and then you actually do it, it just shows you that you wasn't really believing in him. You didn't really have his back as much as it looks when I'm watching the games. And like they said, Quinn, you never really know what happens behind scenes until you actually hear about it or they make a documentary about it or they tell you about it. So some stuff had to been going on that we don't really know much of or we know a little bit about, and they just blew it up and said this guy is just not a guy that's a leader. This guy is just not the guy that we can win with. And they said that even in the press conference. We don't believe a superstar that's not defending and staying in shape is the guy for us to be able to win with. It's sad because Luka is just that good. You just got to the finals. I know you only won one game, which means you was far away from actually winning the championship because you got to win more than that. You got to win 4 games. I know that made sense for the people that are real hoop heads, but it's still crazy that they weren't even thinking about keeping him. They was trying to get Giannis. I heard that. I heard they was trying to get Anthony Edwards. It's just sad that they was giving up on Luka so early in his career, and then they even took a stand not to regret the decision because they feel like he's just not the guy that people think he is, and they know him more than we do. And that's all I can really say about that topic. The Wizards signed Eric Stevenson to a 10-day. They waived Jalen Noel. That's not the biggest news, but it ended up happening. The other big news over the weekend was Draymond Green saying we're going to win the championship. I like what they are. Like I said, I like what the Warriors are doing. I like their passing. I like their defense. I like the fact they got another guy that can take over the game, another guy that can be unselfish and help guys' jobs be easier when they're in the NBA or playing on the court with them. And I like the fact that you can't just focus in on Steph because Draymond is a good passer, Jimmy Butler is a good passer, plus they're good defenders too. And Quentin Post, Another one of their good pickups can space the floor, so you have to pay attention to everybody on the court because they all weapons, because they all moving without the basketball and they all cutting to the rim. And Jimmy Butler fits that type of style. And it just helps Steph not be the focus on offense every single possession, so he gets room to breathe, and then he can be a huge threat offensively too, because he's gonna find a way to get open, and threes hurt more than twos, especially because he can also hit free throws. So I think that it makes sense that he's more confident in what they can do. He's more confident that they can get the job done. They know what it takes to be champions. They know what they have to do because they done did it 4 times. So it makes sense why he feels that way, especially because they looked a little desperate, but they got one of the best players in the league. And it does make sense for them to feel that way, that they can get it done. We just have to see how they play before they get into the playoffs, and that will convince the rest of the people around the world if they can really get it done. But the 3-1 start with Jimmy Butler is really good, but they haven't looked super great, and I don't really blame them because it's only 4 games. But this break and these practices, this rest, is only going to help the Warriors because they're an older team, and maybe we do see the best of the Warriors, and they can change how we think and feel about them by playing great basketball for the rest of the season. And that's what they're going to have to do to win us over. As critics or doubters or even the believers, they can be a little biased, they can be a little blind, and they still have to show that we back your back and we believe that y'all can get it done, but y'all got to actually get it done. And a lot of people been saying that too, like when they actually have to get it done, because if you running your mouth and you saying these type of things, you got to back it up, because other teams going to feel the same way, because they wasn't the only team that made big trades. They wasn't the only team that made big moves. And that's the reason why it's going to be interesting to see what they do, even though they're an older roster and they're more of a team that's been banged up. When you look at what they have been the last couple of years, your body also heals slower too as you get older. So maybe the Warriors got that last ship, and that's what Steve Kerr said. This is becoming the end. Steph Curry's admitting that we're at the end of it. This is that last hurrah. Can we get back there? Can we surprise the people one more time? Can we shock the world one more time and show that we can get a championship? I'm not going to say too much because, like I said, they've been there, done that, and they know what it takes to get it done. It's just a fun topic to see that the Warriors are saying we're not going to quit on our chance of winning with Wardell, Stephen Curry Jr. As long as we have this guy on our roster, we have a chance to beat any team, which they have shown before they even got Jimmy Butler, and we have a chance to compete. Making the move with Jimmy Butler only increase those chances because he is an upgrade, and you still can fill out your roster with other type of players that can still fill smaller minor roles. So I'm looking at I'm kind of sold on the Warriors. The Warriors also, like the Cavaliers, they got that 14 spot that they didn't fill yet, and there's a lot of good guys out there that they can get to fill the rest of their rosters. But we'll see what the Warriors do with that last roster spot. That's going to be some news in the future, and it's going to be fun to be able to cover it because the Warriors are still one of the hottest topics in the NBA game. And it's good that they're making noise for the right reason because they're showing that they're committed to winning and not rebuilding. But they still are kind of retooling on the fly to try to give this one last thing. And I look at it like this: if they don't win this year, they can always make some moves and do some things to give them a better chance to win next year, because this is 2 years with Jimmy Butler guaranteed, possibly, because he's going to be on contract. And if things go right, then it can be interesting to see what they do next year in free agency and another trade deadline type of moves that they can make to build the roster around Draymond, Jimmy, and Steph more better and more tougher to beat. And I know they're going to be a year older, but they can also get guys that can help contribute, and they can do something with Kuminga, keep them or trade them, or just find a way to build this roster that makes more sense, even though it does. But I do think they need better players, and it's going to be hard to do that with the type of money that they're spending on this roster already just this year and next year that has the guaranteed contracts. They're going to be in a tough position adding talent, but it's going to be interesting to see who's going to want to go play with them anyway, as they've been going younger and younger around Steph and Draymond instead of when they got Jimmy Butler. Other than that, comment, like, subscribe, share, hit the notification bell for more analysis. And if you're new to the channel, I do conversation videos just like this in different variety. Also do breakdowns with real footage of legends, current legends, rookies, and future stars. I also do draft coverage and mock drafts too. So if you love NBA content, you can't get enough of it. I do upload basically 7 days a week. So it always give you something to watch. It always give you something to be looking forward to. And I also upload multiple videos throughout the day of those 7 days. Not only that, I also have 3,000 plus videos already on my channel that you can watch and enjoy to increase your chances of wanting to be a fan of this channel and supporting it. Not only that, thank y'all for supporting the channel the best way you can. Thank y'all for appreciating the content for what it is. I'm trying my best. I'm giving y'all my best. I do everything for the channel with no help. And I think that I got one of the best channels in the world, and you guys made me feel that way. The more y'all come back, the more y'all keep watching. I got what y'all want to see. I got what y'all want to hear. And that's the 50-50 why this channel remain popular and one of the best channels, NBA only content pioneers for the last 10 plus years. Let's make 2025 better than 2015. That's the number one goal this year for the channel. And I think we're off to a great start this year already to be able to accomplish that goal. I need y'all to keep watching, liking, and sharing. And I'm going to keep trying to give y'all the best content I can for the rest of the year. Other than that, I'm going for now. See you guys later. And tomorrow gonna be a quick day too, as there's only one game for instant analysis. So it's good to get a break. It's good to have some other things to do and other things to see. I try to sprinkle a little leisure, a little fun, and a little bit of rest in my days, even though I go 7 of them. Just gotta find your spots in your pockets. But hopefully you guys are doing the same thing in your days of work and in your weekend time, or even if you're off on the weekdays. Going for now. Peace out.